I returned from the dead to find my daughter living in a nightmare I paid for. I stood at the gates of my own mansion, a $4 million sanctuary of red brick and black shutters, and watched a skeleton in a maid's uniform step out. It was Lily, my Lily. She didn't recognize the man in the ring. She saw a beggar, a ghost, a piece of human wreckage. With trembling, chemical-burnt hands, she handed me her only meal, a stale crust of bread, and whispered, "Eat quickly, sir. If the mistress smells your poverty, she will punish me." I stood there, a man with $800 million in offshore accounts and uncut diamonds sewn into my rags, holding a piece of dry bread offered by the child I had failed. In that moment, I didn't just want my house back. I wanted to burn their world to the ground and dance on the ashes. The cruelty wasn't just the labor, it was the desecration. Inside my library, on my Italian marble, I watched Brandon, a parasite in a silk robe, pour a bottle of my vintage scotch onto the floor. He didn't use a rag. He used my daughter's dignity. "Look it up, Lily," he sneered, his voice thick with the stench of my stolen wealth. "Every drop, or your son's heart stops beating tonight. No medicine for the boy until the floor is clean." I watched her drop. I watched the heir to the Vance empire kneel in the dust. I heard the sound of her weeping as she complied. That sound, it didn't break my heart. It turned it into a weapon. They thought they were playing with a helpless woman. They didn't know they were triggering a landslide. They were holding my grandson's heart as a hostage, unaware that I held their entire existence in my palm. The end didn't come with a bang. It came with a signature. I created a ghost company, Obsidian Capital, and baited them with $8 million. Greed is a blinding light. They signed their own death warrants just to get their hands on a check that would never clear. When I walked into that boardroom, I wasn't the beggar. I was the owner. I didn't just call the police. I brought the FBI, the IRS, and the ghosts of every lie they ever told. I stripped the diamonds off Pamela's neck, diamonds bought with the blood of my grandson's medical fund. I told Brandon, "You love the force so much? In prison, you'll be the floor. You'll be the dirt that everyone else walks on." I watched them realize, in one soul-shattering moment, that they hadn't just lost a house. They had lost their lives, their names, and their existence. I didn't just want them in handcuffs. I wanted them to feel the weight of every floor my daughter scrubbed. I stood over Pamela as she sat paralyzed in my chair. I reached out and stripped the 5-carat diamond ring from her finger, the one she bought with the trust fund meant for Leo's heart surgery. I took her silk scarf, her designer watch, her pride. "These were never yours," I whispered. "They were the crystallized tears of my daughter. You didn't just steal my money. You fed on her life like a parasite. Now, the host is gone, and you will starve." And then there was Brandon, the man who thought power came from making women kneel. As the FBI dragged him away, he tripped on the same marble floor where he had forced Lily to lick his spilled wine. He looked up at me, begging for mercy. I knelt down, my face inches from his. "Do you remember the taste of that wine, Brandon? In the cell where you're going, you won't be the king. You'll be the dirt. You'll learn exactly what it's like to be at the bottom of the world, begging for a scrap of bread that will never come. I watched his spirit break before the police van doors slammed shut. The cleanup was clinical. I liquidated their assets within the hour. By sunset, Pamela's hidden accounts were empty, and Brandon's luxury cars were being towed to pay for Leo's future. But the real victory wasn't the money. It was the moment Lily stepped onto my private jet. For the first time in 15 years, she wasn't looking at the floor. She was looking at the horizon. We flew to Switzerland that night. The best surgeons in the world were waiting. As Leo went into the operating room, he held my hand and said, "Grandpa, will I be a prince now?" I looked at Lily, whose eyes were finally bright with hope, and replied, "No, Leo, you will be better than a prince. You will be free. The house on Beacon Hill is still there, but the rod is gone. I sold it and donated every cent to an orphanage for children of forgotten fathers. I don't need a mansion to prove who I am. I am Conrad Vance. I am a man who survived the hell of Angola to find his heaven in his daughter's smile. To anyone watching this, never mistake kindness for weakness. Never assume the beggar at your door isn't a lion in disguise. Because one day, the ghosts will return. And when they do, they don't just ask for their things back. They demand justice. And justice is a debt that must be paid in full.